I guess to start off with, you've been here yesterday, you've been here today. Did you see anyone, and not necessarily like, oh, I can't remember their name or their whatever, but just a nugget or a piece of information that just you were like, oh, that jumps out at me?
I will say that I just came from Lauren Sweeney's
She's great.
Spotlight talk.
Yeah.
And it was about like being seen and heard and relevant, and it really like got me motivated.
I'm so glad to hear someone talk about the Spotlight talks too, because that's another thing about the conference where you've got the general sessions and you've got all this content available to you on the back end on the digital side.
Right.
But catching those Spotlight talks,
Yeah, and it was neat. They had like the little headphones because obviously we're right here in the middle of the marketplace or the exhibit hall, and so it can be a little loud.
It does,
so they have like
energy.
the headphones, but Lauren's chat was so well attended that they ran out of headphones.
Good for her. What were some of the things she hit? I know you said being seen and heard, but like dive a little deeper with me.
Some of the things that she mentioned were like to be seen, like wear bold colors.
Yeah.
You know, don't shrink away and like navy blue and black
Everyone
and
looks
gray.
down in their black, navy, and gray. Yeah.
I'm all
yeah.
But wear bold colors. Work on your confidence.
Yeah.
And I would say the biggest takeaway from that was your job title isn't who you are.
For sure.
It's all of the adjectives that make up, who you are.
Yeah.
And your title has nothing to do with that. All of your knowledge has nothing to do with that. People hired you for a reason.
Yeah.
And it wasn't because I'm sure a lot of that had to do with their skill set, but they like that you're dynamic and engaging and inspirational and you're empathetic, you have good like EI. And so
emotional
there's
intelligence.
So many other things that like make up who you are and don't value yourself based on that scale, because what happens when you lose the title, or maybe you have a lot of identity in like being in your marriage, and if you lose your spouse, like you don't want to position yourself to where you lose your identity because things have changed.
I mean, that gets like borderline philosophical, right?
Yeah.
And so we're looking at it from the work standpoint. You're like, hey, some of this is good, like practical advice, but some of this like zooms out and it gets a little macro.
Yeah.
So when you're looking at kind of running around and coming off the spotlight and having some fun there, did you come into this hoping to address anything going on in your world, benefits, comp, leaves?
Yeah, I would say that currently I'm in a position, I work for an EV charging company.
Super cool, by the way.
I am, thank you. I'm the head of HR, and I really am like a department of one. And so when I came on board, there was no one in HR, so I really was allowed to like build the framework. But as a result, just being only me, I'm getting pretty bogged down by the administrative. So I really wanted to I went to the HR department, or HR department of one, I think it was called, and that was really, really good.
Oh, it talks specifically about HR department of one today? Oh, fun.
Yes.
Well, at this conference, I suppose. Yeah. Right on. Talk to me about that.
So,
cool.
no, it was great. It was just saying like, you got to make time to be strategic. And you can build in like focus time in your calendar. It can be really difficult when you're...
There's an expression I like where people talk about, because I've been for a while part of a CEO group, and the whole dialogue there is you need to stop working in the business to zoom out and work on the business.
Right, and that's what he was saying, like you're like a pilot and you need to look at things from like the 300 or 3,000 foot view and not be like in the weeds.
I love that. And
that
he
applies
was great. Professionally.
Paul Falcone.
Oh, we've had Paul, friend of the show.
Yeah.
We did.
It was Paul Falcone.
Yeah. We had him on.
Wonderful. It was today. I think it was the first session I attended.
Yeah, I've never heard the man utter a word that I did go, I totally agree, dude, you're the man. Yeah.
And he was just engaging.
Yeah,
sometimes you get into
sessions. I think it's paulfalcone.com. You go to his website, buy his books. He's a great dude. Yeah, I'm happy to shout him out. Right on.
He's wonderful.
Good deal.
And then I was able to get my headshot this morning, which
I
was
did that
great.
Too. Yes.
Although I do like your headshot. If I remember right, you're like,
oh, that's so sweet of you. Yeah, if you're
I remember
audio
because
only,
I did the graphic for when you spoke
lean.
for our Pyro chapter.
Oh, thank you.
Pasadena.
Yeah, that was really cool because so we talked about AI disrupting HR like over a year ago type of a thing. And so look at you, Pyro Pasadena, at the tip of the spear. I did go out subsequently. I did that talk at Santa Clarita, at Temecula, at Woodland Hills. So it was a well-regarded talk. But you guys were the ones that were like, hey, you run a technology and HR podcast? Like, can we talk about this? Yeah, so thank you. So great chapter. So if you're anywhere near Pasadena, you guys run an amazing Pyro chapter. And thank you, by the way, for what you do for the HR community, right? So that's volunteer time, that's free time.
You know, I will say right now I haven't been as involved with the volunteering, but I was on the Pyro.
You still deserve a thank you for all that you've done.
Thank you. I was on the Pyro board for 4 years, and actually I've been a Pyro member for 12 years.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure this is my 12th conference.
Yeah, so. I was talking to someone about that earlier. I think this is like our 16th conference too.
Wow.
It's just like, it's one of those things to where you keep finding value and you keep coming out, keep coming back. Let me ask you then, as you've seen things kind of change over the years, you've watched HR shift, what's keeping you up at night? HR-wise.
I would say what I'm very passionate about right now is companies. Obviously, for my personal, the personal company that I work for, it's EV charging, so it's new, right?
Yeah.
And that means that you're not hiring people that have been an EV charging technician for 5 years. You're having to find like laterals, but also it means that your competitors are trying to poach from you. So you need to really, really be solid in your culture, in your benefits package. And I think something that I am fired up about making happen now is getting a infertility benefit. I think that a lot of people, I don't think that a lot of HR professionals understand the impact that could have, and that could make or break someone's decision to onboard with
the
you,
statistics on whether or not they would stay with that employer or go to another employer, and to be honest with you, we did an episode on it, and we kind of challenged folks to broaden the language from infertility to family building, right? Because we've got some of our couples, where it's like some of our employees are same-sex couples or single moms or whatever is going on, to where we're talking adoption, domestic or international, we're talking foster, we're talking all the stuff that goes into family building. And I'm just so tickled to hear you talking about that, and that's on the top of your mind. And
I will say, at this very conference on yesterday, I found the CAHR booth. They were with Burnham or Burham.
Sure, CAHR's awesome,
but I had reached out to CAHR a year and a half, 2 years ago, and at that time, they didn't have the ability to take on small businesses. And mine, when I joined my current company, I was like the 16th person hired. And so, I've built that head count. I've grown it 3x now, but it's still, we're just about to hit 50 employees. But I was really pleased to hear that they actually do. They have found an answer to those smaller companies without having to like hitch your cart to a PEO or something, so that you have that opportunity and you can bring that value for your employees.
Yeah, how special. Yeah, and we talked a little bit about this from the main stage yesterday, and what we got into is that they were also sort of tackling menopause issues as well, and some of the things that employers can do in that space.
Oh, wow. That's something I haven't really explored, but I'd love to hear more about it.
No, it's super cool. And that's part of the reason why you come to these conferences. So it's like, you get out, you come around, and you think, okay, do I add this to my wish list? Do I add this to my immediate list? Am I here for a need that needs to be fixed, type of a thing? So a lot going on, a lot of good stuff. I just appreciate you stopping by so much. It's always great to see you.
You too.
Shout out, obviously, Pyro Pasadena, and
it's still my home chapter.
That's it. Whoop, whoop. Thank you so much for sitting in. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. This was really fun.